Mornings, everybody. I hope you're doing well on this wonderful Wednesday. The return of That Game Place live on a Wednesday. At a little bit more convenient time coming up later. 1 p.m. I think, let's see, 1 p.m. that would be Mountain Time, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Basically, across the globe back to its normal location. Very excited for that coming up on, well, later today. So, got all kinds of stories to tell you about in the gaming world, and it's only going to get crazier. We got so much stuff coming on. I am just absolutely excited. I'm thrilled. And again, we are moving on in the month. It is the 19th. Remember, February is a short month. And yeah, then we'll be on into March. A little bit of coffee for the thirsty guy. Mm-hmm. And there we go. Let's get on to saying hi to each and every one of you. I do not know where the music is, but I am not going to focus on that. Just going to turn it up a little. There we go. All right. Let's see who's out there in the world today. Of course, we already saw we had some gifties and a super chat. We've got Razzie Fingers. We got Magnify. We got Putin's Cat. We got Kremlin. And we've got Kaladin 910. Our furry friend, Snortapoopa is here. Boy, do I have a story for you. Good news for the Bears today. And Mark Fields for 2 Culture Casino cash, sending positive vibes to everybody. The lovely Penny, and Jill with her wrench. Sergeant Giratina, how are you doing, my friend? And Captain Fandom Nerd, what's going on, brother? What else we got out there? We got more and more. Like Jan Monroe, hello. Meetings today, so we'll be the replay gang. Yes. And I want to say a big shout out and thank you to Tender Warrior 68 for 5 Culture Casino cash. Thank you for that. I'm sure we will get to all names green. There are many names green right now. Let's just be thankful on this amazing day, trying to get about 20 to, 50 memberships on a Wednesday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We look for big numbers, but hey, we're not greedy. We're just thankful. Speaking of thankful, I'm thankful for Morgan King. It's great to see you, my friend. And thank you for retweeting the show today. I noticed that a few of you have done. I appreciate it. Miss Pick Cafe is saying hi to everybody everywhere on Yellow Tube, on the Green Machine, and on, well, the X. So that's good. So thank you for that. Let's see. There's Ruby Hoove with her gifty 1 Culture Casino membership. Release the McCracken. What's up, Robbie? One of the great members of the memers. I appreciate y'all. Who else do we got out there in the place? Let's see. SFXF314 Sabertooth Raptor is out there. We've got a couple more folks. 11 Alpha sneaking in, paying attention to the markets, I'm sure. Lee Kindler is here. Happy Wednesday indeed. D. Bud Martin, Legendary Wrench to everyone. And thank you, my friend. Daryl Brewer, what's up, my buddy, my pal, my friend of mine. Juliet's in the house. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us across the pond, and thanks for still calling me young. Commander Ed Straker of Shadow is joining us today, as is Taco of Love. That's a unique name indeed. Karad Wen is joining us, and so is the famous Punkwaddle, a flightless bird with a lot of heart. Apex Comics is in the house. What's up, buddy? And Joseph A. as we hit the go button. All right. Who else? We saw more, like the Delaware Beer Drinker. Good morning to you. Let's see. Be Mo Better gonna be Mo Better over on the Green Machine. We love Rumble. We love those that support Rumble. We love those that support me on Rumble. We love Jim Who. Hello. Who else we got out there? Sheila E. What's going on? All right. All right, everybody. 6 minutes starts now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are, whenever you're watching. Thanks for checking out the 6 Minute Daily. We have a lot to talk about, not a lot of time to do that. 20 stories and all, plus bonus time. We will get there, I assure you. But let's start first with Blake Lively alleging Justin Baldoni made other women uncomfortable. I wonder if those other women were influenced by future earnings or future jobs, because Blake Lively has a lot of pull because of her husband. I don't know. But it's interesting that she says they will testify. Now, I imagine Baldoni is a pretty loyal crew. I mean, it is his production company, after all, that shot this movie, his production company that owns the rights and everything else that Blake Lively and Mr. Ryan Reynolds seem to be pursuing. This story will not go away until we get to subpoenas, depositions are added to a long list, and we'll have discovery. Once we get to discovery, I think everybody is going to be even more uncomfortable. But ultimately, I think Mr. Baldoni is going to win in the end. Again, whether or not you consider this tabloid or not, this is actually happening once more, where Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, or either or both, are trying to acquire something that doesn't belong to them with a lot of, well, manipulation. I'm tired of it. What I'm not tired of is justice. It seems like ASAP Rocky was found not guilty in a shooting felony trial. I think that's probably good for him. Again, my idea of justice is people go to jail only when they're definitely guilty. Paul Simon unretires from touring. That's right. He's going to be on a North American trek to smaller venues, getting back to his roots. Hopefully, it's going to be a good tour. We've got Kamala Harris signing with CAA. Her only talent that I've been able to identify is word salad. And if you can sell word salad, you can sell anything. You got win or lose reviews. This is something that we're going to talk about at length in bonus time. But the person here, Angie Han, basically shows their stripe, saying it should have been a home run. Well, it kind of was. It got rid of the woke, but that's not her perspective. We'll get back to it in bonus time. Speaking of getting back to something, John Malkovich is telling us why he had no interest in Marvel movies before Fantastic Four, saying, you don't want to pay me, it's cool, but then I don't want to do it. And you know what? That's kind of the right attitude when it comes to a job in Hollywood. He just does what he wants to do. And speaking of which, there's somebody else that might do something. Apparently, there's a rumor out there that Johnny Depp may be in the next Pirates movie. There are apparently 2 scripts ready and, well, able. They can shoot tomorrow, according to Jerry Bruckheimer. And one of them has Johnny, and the other one is Margot's script, and he wants to make both of them. We'll see if Disney decides to write that check. They probably want to, because at least these movies make money. Speaking of making money, Cinemark reports mixed results in Q4 and yet announces the return of the shareholder dividend. This is going to be interesting watching this happen. I only have one Cinemark that's within driving distance of me, and my one experience in it was not very good. I'm not sure if that's just a one-off for me or if it just happens to be a statewide or global problem. At least they're moving forward in some way. You got NASCAR Hall of Famer Jeff Gordon joining Tom Cruise for Days of Thunder sequel. Tom is on a bit of a sequel quest or something, kind of odd. It's also weird that when you look at this picture, Tom Cruise is taller than Jeff Gordon. He must be really short. My goodness. All right, moving on. No more shots at Tom, but take some shots at Hannity, I guess, according to the deadline, folks. There are lots of softballs and few surprises. Dude, did you ever recall the previous administration being able to go without massive editing? And yet these two gentlemen sat together in front of Hannity and did quite a bit of time in a very amusing way, and at times very serious, telling you what they were going to do. Also, speaking of what they're going to do, they're going to get Howard Lutnick rolling in as the Commerce Secretary. There's somebody that's going to steer the ship as far as trade, and is somebody that's well thought of in all aspects of the business side of, well, trade. We've got Trump's Labor Department picking a union person, basically somebody who's pro-union, and worker advocates wonder how much power she'd have. Probably as much as the president gives her, just like every other administration. U.S. displaced China as Germany's biggest trading partner, and yet they're talking absolute nonsense. Did you notice that an emergency meeting of the EU occurred the minute it sounded like there was going to be peace? Well, they're worried. They're also worried that USAID money is not going to be out there. And with the shutdown, you have people, especially nonprofit workers from those NGOs, not making any money. That's okay. There's lots of dark money out there that can pay for this, money that comes from suspect sources like George Soros. We've got the stock market just edging back a little from its record, but still looking pretty good so far this morning. Trump officials want to ban junk food from SNAP program, which I thought was already done. And finally, oops, we didn't get to it, but we will. We've got just 2 more stories to get through. That's not bad. Actually, technically 1, 2, 3 stories to get through. But we'll do that in bonus time, so stick around, folks. We got to go. In fact, let's do it now. Boom. Bonus time. All right. So there's a lot of things I want to talk about in depth today, but I need to get these last 3 stories in front of you. So let's pop that up on the screen. And one of those is the bear story. So you're going to want to stick around for that. Looks like troubled electric vehicle maker Nikola. Okay, maybe that's not how they do it. That sounds more like a cough drop. But they filed for bankruptcy protection. They're going to sell off everything. They weren't able to make any money. And take a look at their product. It looks to be a giant semi-truck. In this case, this one is hydrogen powered. Okay. They have all kinds of trouble. They were immersed in scandal. The founder was convicted in 2022 of misleading investors about the Arizona company's technology. So looks like you could be, a purchaser of some of that, I guess. Lots of capitalization funneled through large automakers didn't seem to help. And the company only has about 47 million cash in hand. I think they're done. Again, we'll get back to the scandal. This Trevor Milton dude was sentenced to 4 years in prisons. That's crazy. I don't know. I mean, it seems like there's not a lot of good reason to have a company that's largely founded on fraud. And you'll have to see that shares of Nikola, based in Phoenix, Arizona, tumbled more than 49% before the market opened today. So I didn't think there would be a positive outcome for this company. A lot of them are playing around in spaces that are already dominated by big money. So, oh well. Trump says AP will be curtailed at the White House until it changes its style to Gulf of America. Well, it's his prerogative. And again, I mean, if you are not following the rules of the road, you may be locked out. It's not there. It's not AP's press room. And there are plenty of other outlets out there, friendly or no, to the White House. It's always been interesting to me that certain outlets have had kind treatment. It always seemed like, this is not something that's controlled by the outlets. And as the press secretary said, that being in the room is a privilege, wherever that room happens to be. So I guess AP's on the outside looking in at this point. Seems like a dumb thing to fight about, for sure. Anyway, just my opinion. Just like this, the U.S. judge will not block Elon Musk from firing federal workers and accessing data. This was updated 6 hours ago when I grabbed this particular story. And when you look at it, it kind of makes sense. The Democratic state attorneys general had challenged Doge, and the judge just says, it really doesn't matter. He even noted the unchecked authority of the unelected Musk, but there are many other places to point. So, yeah, the Washington-based U.S. Judge Tanya Chutkan denied, for now, a request by more than a dozen states for a judicial order, which wouldn't even go into effect. I think that's ultimately what this judge is probably ruling on. Like, this is nonsensical, and I don't want to get slapped back by the Supreme Court if it got to that point. There is a separation of powers, and this is the executive power through and through. And finally, let's give a little bit of good news. 2 polar bears, twins, were born in this, I can't pronounce it, zoo. Nyíregyháza Zoo. There, I tried. But they were twins. Pretty neat. It's northeast Hungary is where they were born. And we got twinsies. Yeah. So an 11-year-old female named Snezana gave birth to the cub, a cub, I should say, last year. But the birth has been kept secret so far because typically the first 3 months are the most critical period for the bears. They are now so active that we hope they will survive. So this happened quite a bit ago. If you want to watch this, it's actually on the hungrytoday.hu website. I should have known. But that's pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. Of course, it's a little different if they're born in the wild, but I think it's pretty neat. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I don't know. I like bears. We always have that conversation, but I like bears. So, on that note, we need to shuffle along. I want to get back to that story, the review about win or lose. To me, that was obviously politically driven. Born to be Wild. Thank you, D.L. Fendel. Let's take a look at it in my new scene scheme here. Win or lose. Boom. So this is always troubling to me. The reviewer is inserted themselves into the story, whether they meant to or not. That's kind of what's happened. When you read it, you're like, the series should have been a home run. Each of the 8 episodes focuses on a different character's perspective in the week leading up to the championship game for an adolescent mixed or co-ed softball league. As you go through it, Disney may be famous for its collection of yada, 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 yada. By that standard, whoops, I forgot. I can't do that with the Hollywood Reporter. By that standard, it succeeds beautifully. The animation by Pixar is utterly gorgeous, filled with, I need to change sides, I forgot. Filled with light and texture so vivid you can practically feel it through your screen. The characters are distinctive yet relatable. Your heart goes out to each and every one of them. The storytelling is clever, filling scenes with enough detail to lend some gravity to this world. I would almost be tempted to call it a home run, if not for one. Oh my, why do I do that? If not for one egregious error that tinges what should be a clear win with a sense of loss. Why is that? Why is that? Well, we already know the thing that they took out. After the first couple of chapters, you start looking for stories everywhere. Surely the arrogant pitcher or the cheery barista or even the snack shack lockbox contains sagas of their own. It's an approach that encourages patience and understanding and nudges viewers, young and old, to dig beyond the knee-jerk assumptions. Champions the value of keeping an open mind and an open heart. You can already see this perspective, folks. It's not going to get better. As first broken by the Hollywood Reporter last year, the studio axed a storyline involving a trans teammate, Kai, over the objections of many Pixar staffers, keeping the character in the show, but reimagining her as cis. Critics weren't sent the episode centered around Kai, and yet somehow I have the animation somewhere of what wasn't made, and she hasn't played a significant role in the ones we've seen so far. So I can't tell you how the last minute rewrites play, how central her trans identity could have been to her narrative, or how erasing it changes our understanding of that character. What I do know is that a bit of compassion towards a trans child and other people who might see themselves or loved ones in her would have gone a very long way. This is something that doesn't belong in film or television criticism, in my opinion. Now, I want to have a discussion on this, and I know it's dangerous. I know it's a tightrope, but I think we're all adults here and we can probably do it. Win or lose may be fantastic. Everything that this person described it as, I'm not going to watch it. I'm just going to tell you that right now. But in criticism, what you have is what you evaluate, not what you don't have. You also don't want to reveal unto everybody your political stuff at a professional level. I do it, but it really isn't the best practice. You're going to feel a particular way about a film. You just are. Your life experiences are going to influence what you say when you're talking about it. You will either describe a film as good or bad in whatever adjectives you choose to use. Yet, I am not evaluating Captain America, Brave New World when I evaluate it on what I didn't get. I can talk about what I didn't get, but I can't evaluate it on that. Doesn't make sense. I can't even evaluate it on previous clips or even test screeners that I may or may not have seen. As compared to what was released to the general public, the only thing I can compare the film to is to itself, the one that actually came out that everybody saw. So I have a problem here, and that's fine. I can also tell you that, if there are shades of political narrative or whatever it is that seems to be shoved into any given project, I can talk about that. What I can't talk about is what I didn't get. And this reviewer in the story that we just covered, they freely admit they didn't send that particular episode that they didn't do or any of the previous iterations of the show out to these critics. They sent what we were going to see. So if it's a home run, as it stands, it's a home run. And this person leaned towards that. But when you look at it, that's not what they're evaluating it on. So I have a real problem with that because people call me out all the time and fairly for not judging something until I've seen it. Well, to be fair, I have a pretty good feeling for what I'm seeing or what will be in a given project, or I wouldn't talk about it because it would, kind of damage the credibility. This is just one of those instances. We can only evaluate this television product from Pixar for what it is, not for what we heard it was or any of the other things. When it gets down to it, the only review that matters to me is the thing that I saw. And that's it. Whether it be Nosferatu, which I think is brilliant, or whether or not it's Captain America Brave New World, which I thought was lacking. Seriously. I already know what I'm expecting to see in Snow White. So lately I've just been covering, what's going on in the background as far as that's related, what is reported to be there, what we can actually see with our own two eyes in the trailer, which again, don't take a trailer for rote. Can't do that. We saw that recently in Captain America Brave New World, where the funeral scene that was supposed to happen for Ross reportedly didn't. Just wasn't there. So we can only rely on what we see with our eyes. And I would encourage everybody else to do that. This reviewer decided that wasn't the way to go. Now, we are going to talk a little bit more about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni here in just a moment, and talk about the addition of a defamation claim. If anything, there's defamation both ways. None of these people get this. I mean, ultimately, you know, this is nothing but a loser for Blake and Ryan. And I think this was a terrible decision-making tree, but we'll get into that. I want to say thanks to Who for a Culture Casino membership, the Gifty. And I want to say hi to the 373 of you that are out there in the audience. We got Follow the Bradleys Fun rolling in on us and so many more. I want to say thank you for that. Yeah, the crazy stuff that's happening here in the United States, and the fact that Europe doesn't seem to want peace. It's very strange. Strange indeed. Metal Pick, what's up? Love it. Metal Pick of Destiny. Let's see who else is out there. We got Istophobos. Apparently, the CAA were very inspired by Kamala's drinking, according to Istophobos. I don't know, maybe. Let's see if we get to the bottom of this, where we started talking about all this stuff. I will say that I did get a member chat from Bingle Bangle Bungle. I'm so happy in the jungle. Member for 4 months, says money. That's right. And Snakes and Funerals says in a strong statement, most reviewers will sell out for a bag of candy. Well, I don't know. I'm not interested in diabetes, because oftentimes it's not even real sugar. Did you see what came out the other day, that nerds are basically full of toxic stuff? That doesn't sound good. Toxic candy? Giving that to kids? No, thank you. Sorry, I did a little coffee there. I want to say thank you to those of you on the Green Machine, because we've got Crazy White Boy over there along with T. Rose. I think that's Terry Rose. We've got a few other folks sneaking in over there. Razzy Fingers I already mentioned, and I'm missing Weatherman. Where's the Weatherman? Anyway, the lovely Apollomies Minion is out there, making sure we all have things delivered where they need to be. So thank you, Apollomies. And all of your hard work. Trinoculus P is here. What's up? And of course, my friend Brandon, the anime guy, says, good luck. Oh, Lord. Not that psychopath. They all suck. Yeah, well, no doubt. But we can go more through this story, and I think I want to be fair. I don't really like it. Hoove is here, says, just popped in to drop a gifty and say hi. Everybody have a wonderful Wednesday. Thank you, Hoove. You are amazing. And we got another amazing gifty from the very lovely Apollomies Minion for 5 Culture Casino memberships. Thank you, Apollomies. You didn't need to do that, but I appreciate it, and it gets us one step closer to our goal. Once again, just a quick reminder for those who joined us late, we have That Park Place Live. That's right. Not That Park Place, That Game Place Live, my gaming channel, coming up at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully you'll all be able to follow us over there. That Game Place is a collaboration between myself and That Park Place to give you gaming news as often as we can. And I think today's show is going to be fun, because I spent some time on picking out some of these stories. There's some stuff you may not know or have heard of at this point. So I think that it will be a lot of fun to talk about. And it's still not up there for me to redirect to. That's no bueno. But we'll try to get that done for you. Breaking, according to Istophobos, Trump suspends all immigration applications submitted by Latin American and Ukrainian immigrants who entered the U.S. under Biden admin, citing concerns over fraud and national security. Good gracious, Istophobos. Let me go see if I can find that. We got an amazing super chat from our friend Radio Drago for 10 pounds sterling. This is proper money, ladies and gentlemen, saying, when I went to America to spend Thanksgiving with my girlfriend's family, I had American candy for the first time, and it tasted like chemicals and melted plastic. It didn't used to until these manufacturers figured out they could feed us chemicals instead of food, and it would be a lot cheaper. And as long as the chemicals were illegal, they seemed to get away with it. I don't think that's going to happen for much longer. Hey, Luke, what's going on? Luke Coral the Woods Art is in the house. Great to see you, my friend. And Read by Nature is popping in as well. Brandon says Europe is fallen. I'm not going to make it that dire, but okay. And I'm going to go back to this breaking news because this was kind of a big deal. Let's take a look. Let's see. Trump suspends. Yeah, that's right. You're looking in real time. Real time. I mean, let's see. This is breaking news. I wonder where it's from. Suspends immigration. Let's see if that's the headline. Supposed to be breaking 2 hours ago from the Economic Times. Let's see if there's a more reliable source. The synopsis here is that the Donald Trump administration has indefinitely suspended the processing of immigration applications for, I'm going to look up this again, see if I can find another source. I don't like to report things unless I've got lots of sources. Oh, that's from One India. A lot of this is a lot of international sites. This is, I mean, it's likely to be true with everybody talking about it. Total Today Global, lots of India sources. Look at this. I don't know. I don't know, folks. I'm going to take it by rote that this is true because there's so many different places around the globe reporting it. I don't know why it would be such a issue. Wow. That says a lot, especially when it comes to quote unquote national security. Yeah, I'll see if I can find more here as we go on. But need to get back to this Baldoni story, in my opinion. Don't want to lose the audience. So yeah, let's jump on this. I think it's an interesting thing. And again, for those of you who gifted memberships and contributed to the super chats, thank you very much, including Joseph A, who gave a gifty of a membership as well. Let's get to the Baldoni thing on the Deadline story. And let's jump into that scene. So Blake Lively alleges that Justin Baldoni made other women uncomfortable on It Ends With Us and says they will testify at trial. Now, this is an interesting strategy because, well, he has all the film, all the raw, uncut footage. This is playing with fire just to see if I would assume Blake's asked these ladies to come on board and tell their story or their truth. And I have, serious problems with that for many different reasons, but setting those aside, and again, saying thank you to Joseph A over there. Thank you, my friend. Let's just say, take it with a grain of salt. Adding a defamation claim, which I think Baldoni had already thrown out at Blake Lively. They're all getting ready to play. So with minutes to spare before a court-imposed deadline of midnight Eastern Time, lawyers for Blake Lively have just filed an amended complaint so that the mean girl can try to make some additional claims. So in the legal and cultural landscape, where the blast radius for this battle was already pretty large, just got a whole lot bigger. They did. And for a film that didn't really make all that much money, but does have a lot of running room with more material to be produced. So apparently, again, in this story, and Deadline's heavily in favor of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, you can tell. Perhaps more importantly, this time in the complaint, which is 48 pages longer than the New Year's Eve complaint Lively first filed, there are other women cited. Okay. So they were able to build that up. And supposedly suffered from the actions of Baldoni and his Wayfarer Studios CEO, Jamie Heath. Individuals whose names were left out of the document for now. Of course they were. But who intended to be witnesses in the trial starting next year in federal court in NYC. You know, this judge has already threatened them with pushing this forward faster. You know that? Like, stop doing the, stop fighting this out in the press, or else I'll make you have to come to court sooner. I think you should just move forward, or she. I think the judge just say, hey, you're coming in, less than a month to figure it out. We're going to get this out of the way because this is playing out in the wrong place. And of course, it's going through all of these trades. It's going through all the Yahoo news sites. It's going through pretty much everything and the tabloids. I mean, TMZ's up on this one. And it doesn't get better for either party. There's no winner here. I don't understand this. And maybe you guys know better than I do, but none of this makes sense. I mean, Lively's new filing claims that Ange Giannetti at distributor Sony was aware of the unease Lively and the other women allegedly felt on the IEWU. It ends with us. Can I tell you something? I feel a particular way about certain things that I do during the course of my day, but I'm not going to file a suit over it. You know what I mean? If a person at Home Depot treats me poorly, I'm not going to sue them, right? If an employer, if you go back about 25 years in my life, if an employer were to treat me poorly, I probably would just leave, right? Whether or not I've fulfilled a contract, a work week, a work month, whatever, I probably would just go get another gig and not sue them for feeling unease. I mean, because they ate tuna fish sandwich every day and insisted on speaking to me in close proximity with breath that would kill a dragon. So, I mean, that's uncomfortable, but I didn't do anything. And again, Baldoni has a lot of material that directly refutes this, not to mention the fact that he is involved with a lady and is probably a legitimate male feminist. So I don't know, folks. This just one doesn't pass the smell test to me. What it does look like is for trying to get this property from underneath Baldoni and to ruin his reputation. And it's sad. You want to ruin a person because A, they didn't give you what you wanted, and B, did some unfortunate things on the way out the door. I'm not convinced that Ryan Reynolds and his wife Blake Lively are not above, and this is a problem for Ryan more so than even Blake at this point. He's going to ruin a stellar reputation. He's going to remind everybody of the allegations for his co-star from Deadpool to never want to work with him again. And there's a reason for that. Getting leveraged and played and spoken to in a manner that's uncomfortable, there's a lot going on here, I think. But I don't know. Maybe people aren't interested in this, and that's fine. It's going to weigh out in the courts next year. I'd like it to do that sooner. But DL Fendel has an opinion. Let's see if we can grab that. I still say this is Blake unable to abide being less famous than her husband. It's an ego thing for her. Well, it wouldn't surprise me. And as you would certainly know, this happens all the time in Hollywood. And that's largely why you end up with Hollywood marriages and Hollywood divorces. Sometimes it's just about leverage and reputation, which isn't good. Hey, John Yolden's his day off today and enjoying the 6-minute daily on my birthday before heading back to the editing software. Well, I'll tell you what, John, now that I know it's your birthday, everybody wish John Yolden a happy birthday and happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, John Yolden. Happy birthday to you. There you go. Punkwaddle says, so as one famous dude who has been an iconic role for Disney movie franchise is falling out of grace due to a blonde. So I wouldn't have said it that way. So does a previous Disney star possibly return from disgrace of a blonde? Yeah, actually, that would be the summation of today's 6-minute daily. You have Blake wrecking Ryan, and you have Amber, who wrecked Johnny, who may be back at Disney with Pirates, according to a rumor, by the way. Reported as rumor. Not reported by me. I'm just saying. Usually, though, World of Real does some good work. So, Wackle Cackle says, when blue highlights of masses of text happens, click on background panel and then hit the escape key. All right. That's a good idea. Thank you for that. I did not know that. Thank you. Cynthia Carter. Hey, Cynthia. Says Reynolds and Lively seem like nasty high school people. Oh, yeah. These are mean girls who just doubled their age without actually growing up. Yeah. Well, it looks like Ryan is starting to age. Those recent pictures of him in the last couple of weeks are rough. I wonder if he's not thrilled about this particular legal circumstance and his large sums of money going towards it. Hey, I got a raid. Thank you and welcome. 421 of you in the audience. Oh boy, I wish we were going to go longer today. Coming up next, though, is Midnight's Edge in the morning. And I need to actually go make a couple of videos, folks, because I'm sure you'll want to watch a couple of these. There's 2 birthdays today. Luke! Happy birthday, Luke! Corolla is. He's out there. The man himself making entertainment, making comics. Happy birthday to you, Luke. Happy birthday to Luke. Happy birthday to Luke. Happy birthday to the Luke we like still and not Luke Skywalker. Happy birthday to Luke. Hampton, good morning. Good morning. Peach Fan Ann, good morning. Got to sing to Luke next. I did. I cleaned it up. We've got Kate Roberts out there and Wednesday the Black Cat. Hello, Wednesday. I like Wednesdays. Critical. What is this? Critical drinker summary of the situation didn't paint Blake Lively in a positive light. No, a lot of people have heard a lot of things about her, and she's just not a nice person, to quote the whole 9 yards. Your wife is not a nice person. Bruce Willis is great in that role. And yeah, happy birthday to 2 people. Amazing, Luke. I'm glad you guys were here. Makes me happy. Who else out there? Let's see. Wait, what's going on for Peach Fan In? Guys, this chat's going fast today. I don't know. But I do want to say thank you and happy birthday all, and for all the amazing gifties in the chat. I truly appreciate it. We've got Midnight's Edge in the Morning, as I said, coming up next. I'm going to see if I can redirect either there or to that game place. Let's see. That game place. Yeah, I'm going to start playing game live over there pretty soon. Can't redirect there for some reason. Let's try it all together. Game place. Nope. So Midnight's Edge in the morning is your next stop, folks. For those of you on YouTube, be prepared for the redirect. And for those of you on Rumble, you might want to find your way over there. If you're on Twitter, I just want to say thank you for participating over on X. You can chat from X, believe it or not, and I can actually bring it up on the screen when you do. So keep that in mind for future streams. And just remember, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you have a great day. Obviously, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya. For real.
Why, hello there, random citizen.
Oh, hey there, little buddy. How's it going?
Have you subscribed to Culture Casino yet?
Well, no.
Friggin' A. These guys, I tell ya.
Oh!
Dang it, I missed. Why won't these guys just subscribe already?
That hurt.